Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Imagine, just for a moment, that feeling. Knowing every single bite you take is, well, completely safe.
Mm,
What's going on behind the scenes, the unseen stuff making that happen.
right.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the really fascinating world of food safety management, and specifically this big international standard that kind of holds it all together.
Yeah, and what's really amazing here is how something that sounds quite technical, ISO 22000, um, it actually affects every single one of us, from the farm
Hmm.
right to your fork.
Right.
It's so much more than just a rule book. It's more like a systematic way to think ahead to
Yeah.
prevent hazards before they happen, building trust.
Okay, so our mission today then is to take all this complex info you've gathered, the details on ISO 22000, where it applies this Safe Bites program,
Mm,
and sort of translate it into clear, actionable insights for you listening. We'll explore what the standard really is, why it's so critical globally, and, how it directly impacts the food you eat every day.
sounds good.
So let's start right there. What exactly is ISO 22000? Is it just like another certificate for businesses to hang on the wall, or is there something deeper going on?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just a certificate. Think of it less like a compliance checkbox
Okay.
and more like a strategic blueprint for any food business.
Yeah.
The real insight, I think, is how it shifts the whole mindset.
How so?
Well, it moves food safety away from being reactive, fixing problems after they happen.
Right, damage control.
Exactly, to being proactive,
Yep.
predictive even. It basically forces businesses to map out every potential weak spot before anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's its real strength.
Yeah.
It's not just stopping outbreaks, it's building that solid consumer confidence.
That's a fundamental shift, proactive versus reactive. But I'm wondering,
Yeah.
it's global, right?
Mm.
So are there challenges? Applying one standard across totally different cultures, different economies, does it flex or is it rigid?
That's a really good point, and it kind of highlights why we need a global standard in the first place.
Okay.
Because, well, the alternative is, frankly, real-world outbreaks. And, viruses and bacteria, they don't exactly respect borders.
Yes.
So this standard helps prevent those issues. It makes food safe from a whole range of risks. You've got biological ones like salmonella,
Yeah.
chemical, maybe pesticide residues that shouldn't be there, physical risks like, I don't know, tiny metal fragments, and allergenic risks too, making sure labeling is accurate. ISO 22000 gives this flexible framework, so different companies can tailor it, but the core safety outcome stays consistent everywhere.
Okay, that makes sense. A common language for safety.
Precisely. And stepping back a bit, you see, ISO 22000 isn't just some static document. It's built on a process approach, and this cycle called PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act.
Continuous improvement.
Exactly. It's always evolving. And right at the heart of it are these key concepts, these acronyms you hear thrown around, HACCP, PRPs, CCPs, and OPRPs.
Right, the acronym SOUP. Okay,
Yeah.
these are clearly the engine room, the nuts and bolts. For someone wanting to grasp how it works, we need to make these super clear. Can you, walk us through them, maybe with a quick example for each?
Absolutely. Let's break it down. Think of it like layers.
Okay.
So PRPs, prerequisite programs, these are your absolute basics. The foundation,
Right.
like basic hygiene, making sure staff wash their hands properly, the facility is cleaned regularly, pest control is working, equipment maintenance, the fundamental stuff for a clean environment.
Got it. Baseline hygiene.
Yep. Then you have HACCP, hazard analysis, and critical control points. This is the overall strategy.
Okay.
It's about systematically thinking, okay, where could things potentially go wrong in my process? Like identifying that, say, pathogens could multiply if food isn't cooled down fast enough after cooking.
Analyzing the risk.
Absolutely essential. These are the make or break points, the steps where you must apply control to prevent or eliminate a serious hazard.
Like the cooking temperature example.
Perfect example. The precise temperature and time needed to cook chicken to kill salmonella. If you fail at a CCP, you could have an immediate, potentially widespread health issue. It's non-negotiable.
Okay, high stakes.
Very high stakes. And then finally, you have OPRPs, operational prerequisite programs. Think of these as important control measures for significant hazards, but maybe not quite at that critical do-or-die level of a CCP.
So still important, but maybe a different kind of control.
Right. Maybe it's a specific procedure for checking incoming raw materials for contaminants or ensuring proper segregation to prevent allergen cross-contact. It's essential for controlling the likelihood of hazards getting in or spreading, but it might not be the single point where failure guarantees unsafe food like a CCP often is.
Ah, okay. So PRPs are the foundation, HACCP is the plan, CCPs are the critical kill steps, and OPRPs are other vital controls.
You got it. And understanding this distinction is so important because it tells businesses exactly where to focus, their strongest controls, their resources. It's about prioritizing based on risk.
It really clarifies the layered approach, and it's just amazing how widely this applies. The material showed it covers, well, basically everything. It's not just for, say, a canning factory.
Oh, not at all. You're absolutely right. The breadth of application is, frankly, staggering when you think about it. It stretches across the entire food chain, every length.
Like where specifically?
Well, okay, obvious ones first. Food processing. Meat plants, dairies, bakeries, snack foods, ensuring hygienic processing there.
Sure.
But then catering and hospitality. Think restaurants, hotels, hospitals, airlines, preventing foodborne illness where food is served directly.
Makes sense.
Then there's logistics in the cold chain, trucking companies, warehouses, maintaining those crucial temperatures and cleanliness during transport, making sure your frozen peas stay frozen, your milk stays cold.
Right, often overlooked but vital.
Totally.
Yeah.
Even food packaging manufacturers. The stuff that actually touches your food board, the plastic wrap, the cans, the boxes, that needs to be safe and hygienic too.
Hadn't even thought of that one.
See? And it goes right back to the start. Agriculture and farming. Controlling contamination risks on farms, whether it's crops, livestock, even fisheries.
Wow.
And one more, animal feed manufacturers, because what the animals eat can introduce hazards into the human food chain later on.
So it truly is farm to fork, or I guess feed to fork.
Feed to fork, exactly. Every single step has this layer of safety consideration built in thanks to standards like this.
Yeah, it definitely makes you look at the food on your plate or even just the supermarket shelves a little differently, knowing all that goes into it. But, while these systems, these standards are obviously vital, the material we looked at really hammered home that safety ultimately starts with the individual, the employee.
Yes, that's a crucial point. And it brings up a key question, right? How does one person, on the factory floor or in the kitchen fit into this massive system?
Yeah.
Well, ISO 22000 puts a really strong emphasis on employee responsibilities. Things like meticulous personal hygiene, obviously, but also understanding how their specific actions, their job, impact safety. How what they do can prevent or, conversely, cause a problem.
So it's about awareness, understanding your role.
Awareness, yes, but more than that, it's about fostering a genuine safety culture where everyone feels responsible. Because, let's face it, you can have the best system in the world on paper.
Right.
But if the person operating the machine or packing the food doesn't understand or follow that one critical step,
Yeah.
the whole thing can fall apart.
So it's not just abstract rules. The material mentioned training, clear communication, documentation. Those are key parts.
Absolutely integral. Consistent training, making sure communication flows effectively, keeping meticulous records.
Right.
It all supports compliance, not just with the standard, but with legal requirements, customer expectations. It creates this robust safety net woven by both the system and the people.
And this program mentioned Safe Bites, the science of food safety. That seems like a perfect example of bringing these big ideas down to earth.
It really is. It's a fantastic example of how you take these sort of abstract principles of ISO 22000 and make them tangible, make them real for the people doing the work.
Who's it aimed at?
It's designed for, well, pretty much everyone handling food. Production teams, handlers, quality controllers, even new hires just starting out, making sure they really get their specific role in keeping the production safe.
And how does it do that effectively? The sources suggested it was more than just a lecture.
Exactly. That's key. It's not just about what it covers. Explaining ISO 22000, identifying hazards, HACCP principles, employee roles, even future trends.
Okay.
But it's how it delivers it, using things like real-life case studies, talking about actual outbreaks, maybe ones that were prevented, or sometimes, unfortunately, ones that happened and why they happened.
So learning from mistakes, real-world stuff.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That makes it immediate, memorable, far more impactful than just, reading a list of rules.
Right.
Add in things like quizzes, interactive elements.
Yeah.
It helps the knowledge actually stick.
Right, makes it practical. So, okay, let's try and wrap this up. What does all this mean for you, our listener? We've kind of unpacked ISO 22000, we've looked at these core ideas like HACCP, PRPs, OPRPs,
Yeah.
and we've seen how it really touches every single part of the food supply chain, from, like you said, the feed for the animals, right up to the meal on your plate. It's all working towards that promise of a safe bite.
Yeah, and stepping back, I think the bigger picture is pretty clear. Behind every meal you trust, there's this incredibly complex, globally recognized system working constantly, designed specifically to minimize risks, to protect public health.
Yeah.
It's really a testament, I think, to the fact that food safety isn't a one-off thing. It's continuous, it's collaborative, it involves countless people, strict standards, constant vigilance.
So here's something to chew on, maybe. The material we looked at even gave a little glimpse into the future. It mentioned trends like digital food safety logs, using AI maybe in hazard analysis, blockchain for traceability.
Oh, yeah, exciting stuff.
Right. So what new role could technology play in making your next meal even safer? And maybe what responsibility does that put on us as consumers to understand a bit more about where our food comes from, its journey? Just think about how the definition of safe bites itself might change in the years ahead, driven by technology, innovation, and maybe our own demands for transparency.